Hello everyone, this is Shanti Shivsar from Information Technology Department. In this session, we continue the lesson, that is chapter number 5, Activity and Multimedia with Databases. Okay, the next topic is Content Providers and Fragments. A content provider is a component that interacts with repository, that is database. It supplies the data from one application to other on its request. Such requests are handled by the method of the content resolver class. The app doesn't need to know where or how the details are stored, formatted, or accessed. Content providers are useful for apps that want to make data available for other applications also. With content provider, you can allow the multiple other apps to securely access, use, and modify the single data source or repository that your app provides. Content provider separates the data from the app interface code, then provide the standard way of accessing the data, make it possible for the app to share the data with other app, and it is a repository which could use to handle or access the database, a file system, or data which is present in cloud. Okay. Sometimes it is required to share the data which access the application. This is where the content providers becomes the very useful or applicable. Content provider which is available at the data access layer in between data layer and business layer, because at the business layer there are various apps which are executed and which need some data or database which is available at data layer. The content provider is the interface between your business layer and the data layer. Content provider provides the secure access to the database which is available in database or in file, or which is available on the internet or a cloud. Okay, which is all these are the part of your data layer, and data access layer, which is content provider provides the access for this database with the help of particular application. Content provider let you centralize content in one place and have many different applications access it as needed. It behaves very much like a database where you can query it, edit its content, as well as add or delete some content, that is insert, update, delete, query methods, etc. using. Okay, in most of the cases the data is stored in a SQLite database. A content provider is implemented as a subclass of content provider class and must implement the standard set of APIs that enables other applications to perform the transaction. It is the class of content provider where we public class our my application which extends our content provider class to use some methods. Content URIs. To query a content provider, you specify the query string in the form of URI which has the following format. Use the prefix, then authority, then data type, and then ID. Prefix is always obviously /, then authority. This specifies the name of the content provider, for example contacts or browser, etc. Then for third party, the content provider which could be the fully qualified name, that is com.tutorials. Okay, status provider, etc. Then data type, this indicates the type of data that is particular providers provides. For example, if you are getting all the contacts from the contacts content provider, then the data path will be the people, and URI would like this contents. Okay, that is the prefix /, then name of your authority, that is contacts, and the data type is people. Okay, then ID that specifies the specific record requested. For example, if you are looking for the contacts number 5 in the contact content provider, then URI would like to specify this content of the particular data type, that is inside the type people /5, that is number 5. Create the content provider. This involves the number of simple steps to create your own content provider. Okay, you need to create a content provider class which extends the content providers base class. from which base class we will implement or inherit some methods. Second, you need to define your content provider URI address, which will be used to access the content. Next, you will need to create your own database where we store some contacts, that is SQLite database, and frameworks which need to override onCreate method, which will use SQLite Open Helper method to create open the provider's database. When your application is launched, the onCreate handler of each of its content provider is called on the main application thread. Next, you will have to implement the content provider queries to perform some different database specific application. Finally, register your content provider in your activity file using provider tag. Here are some methods of your content provider class. onCreate, which is called when the provider is started. Next, query. This method receives the request from the client to result in return as a cursor object. Then next is the insert, to insert the new record to the content provider, delete the record from the content provider, then update the record from the content provider and get the type of data, that is return type is MIME, because here we send or receive the data of multimedia type, that is text, audio, video, all. Okay. Next point is fragments. It is a piece of activity which enables the more modular activity design. It will not be wrong if we say a fragment is a kind of sub activity. Main activity is divided into the some small activities. Some important points regarding fragments. It has its own layout and its own behavior with its own life cycle callback. You can add or remove the fragment in an activity while the activity is running. You are combine the multiple fragments in a single activity to build multi-pane user interface. Fragments can be used in multiple activities. Fragment lifecycle is closely related to the lifecycle of its host activity, which means when the activity is paused, all the fragments available in this activity also stopped. A fragment can implement the behavior that has no user interface component. Fragments were added to the Android application in Honeycomb version of the Android. Following the example how two user interface modules defined by the fragments and can be combined into one activity for a tablet design but separated for a handset design. Okay, the application can embed two fragments in activity A when running on tablet size device, but however on a handset size screen, that is in mobile screen, there is not enough room or space for both fragments. So activity A includes only the fragments for the list of articles, and when the user select an article, it starts the activity B using intent, okay, which includes the second fragment to read the article. Fragment life cycle. Android fragments have their own life cycle which is very similar to your Android activity. Okay, this is your Android fragments life cycle, which having some method, that is attach, on create view, on start, resume, detach, then destroy, then stop, then pause, etc. Okay, for fragment start and for fragment end. On attach, it is called when the fragment has been associated with activity, means your fragment is attached with some activity. On create, which is used to initialize the fragment. Then on create view, it is used to create a view hierarchy associated with fragment. Then on activity created, it is called when the fragments activity has been created and the fragment view hierarchy instantiated. On start, when we want to or when we make the fragments visible. Then another methods are on resume, on pause, then on stop, then on destroy view or on destroy fragment, on detach. How to use the fragment? This involves a number of simple steps to create the fragment. One is first decide how many fragments you want to use in that particular activity. For example, let's we want to use 2 fragments to handle landscape and portrait modes of the device. Next, based on number of fragments, create the classes which will extend the fragment class. The fragment class have above mentioned callback function. You can override any of these function based on your requirement, means the function in your fragment class. Okay, corresponding to each fragment you will need to create a layout file in XML file. Next, these files will have layout for the defined fragments. Finally, modify the activity file to define the actual logic of replacing the fragments based on your requirements or customer requirement. There are 3 types of fragments. One is a single frame fragment, then the list fragments and fragments transaction. Single frame fragments are used for handheld device like mobile. Here we can show only one fragment as a view. List fragment means having special list view is called as a list fragment. And fragment transaction, using with fragment transaction we can move one fragment to another fragment. Okay, thank you. In the next session we learn the new topic in that chapter number 5. Thank you.